So let's start with the cargoes. Camera बंद कर दो. Okay. So first is you are asked requirements of crude oil washing, which we have done. First is ships more than 20,000 deadweight should be provided with the crude oil washing system and tank line, cow manual. Then they should have a proper washing apparatus and associated pipeline, crude oil washing pipelines. Then there should be a manual uh, equipment giving the design and operation your tank cleaning machines. What is the design, when you will do pre-wash, main wash, angle of wash, how you will set, what will be the pressure, how much time is each cycle, all as per IMO design and control circular, this one. Then the crude oil should be provided with cow manual and as per the form of MEPC IMO, and it should be in French or English. Then you can also give the requirements that 25% of the tanks are to be washed in each voyage, so that in 120 days we will have 100% of that. Then with respect to crude oil washing, there are some cargo grades which are not suitable for cow. So I think we did that, but still, because if the oil is very, very viscous or very thin or volatile, then you cannot do crude oil washing because it will not create that much pressure in the tank cleaning machine, and sludge will not come out. So crude oil washing work using condensate oil that includes crude oil of high vapor pressure should not be performed. So if cow is the set tank is necessary, then washing with a different grade of oil can be considered. So if that oil is of very high vapor pressure, too much volatile, very high vapor is there, very thin oil, then we can use some other oil for washing that crude oil washing of that tank. Permission is to be obtained from the terminal when washing with a different grade of oil. The permission of the character should be obtained. Then precautions and checks prior and during crude oil washing, this already we have done. Before crude oil washing, all pre-arrival checks, safety checks, cow washing plan, and during discharging, ship shore agreement, communication, all those things. Oxygen content, tank, pipeline leakage, inert gas, all these things are there. Then during crude oil washing, again inert gas, pressure, lines check, start slowly. After crude oil washing, closing and securing and stripping and training. Then hazards associated with crude oil washing. Hazards already, oil leaks, then can be explosion, inert gas, contamination and overflow. Again, the checks during after crude oil washing. Then you are chief officer of crude oil, explain the proper sequence of discharging and crude oil washing. So discharging, we have seen in brief. First, we arrive the port, all information exchange, ship shore safety checklist, berthing, then general safety checks, all pipelines, alarms, leakages, pressure test of the line, gas meters, all paperwork, cargo documents. Then special attention have to be to monitor the safe running of the pumps, pump room ventilation, pump room checks. So pump room we have to see Sham. Then drips and leaks in the pump room should be attended to immediately. Pump room bill sounding should be monitored regularly. After completion of gauging sampling calculation, the terminal will give the readiness for receiving the cargo. So cargo sampling will be done before discharging. Then lineup checked, steam turbines checked for COPs, IG plant running. All these are discharging procedures. Changeover from one tank to another should be gradual. If the tank is becoming empty, reduce the pump, throttle the discharge valve, use the stripping line, stripping pump, X strip, or automatic unloading system, stripping system. If the pump is losing suction, stop it, and you can use the eductor if stripping system is not working. Then there is a bar chart. We will see, we saw in that. This bar chart is showing which ballast and pumps are running at the time, and crude oil washing as required in the above checks. Then what is open cycle and closed cycle? Open cycle is vapor is vented in the atmosphere. Advantages is that washing capacity is increased. One second. Yes, so open cycle is venting in the atmosphere with the automatic unloading stripping system. So the gas is extracted. We will see when we are seeing pump room, what is this OS system. So the advantage is when you are washing the tank, the washing capacity and tank draining capacity in the tank to be washed and the slop tank will not rise. So it is safe. And but it takes a lot of time. So what is open cycle? Taking washing, you wash all the oil tanks from one tank and you put all the washing in other tank, and finally you collect all the washing from one tank, and finally you put in the slop tank, and then from slop tank all the cargo goes from this automatic stripping system where it is stripped to the shore. So this is open cycle. So it is time consuming, but good washing and drainage is done. Closed cycle is a method of taking washing oil from slop tank for washing and returning the stripped oil to the slop tank using the stripping machine. So in other tanks, you were taking the crude oil from same tank and doing crude oil washing and putting in the other tanks and finally slop tank. In closed cycle, we are taking the cargo from slop tank, doing the crude oil washing, and then whatever residues we are left, we put that also in the slop tank. Advantage is less time, but the wash water cannot be directly transferred ashore because there is a lot of water and oil in the tanks. So that problem. The flammability diagram we have done.
Yes, sir.
So how you will use it in case you have leak in the pump room. So if you have leak in the pump room, again you will have what you call a very high hydrocarbon content. So we will check the gas, and immediately we will start the ventilation, and if whatever cargo is there, we remove by the bilge pumps and all. And if anybody is there, we will not put because we can enter in flammable range, so we will avoid any sparks or anything, and keep checking the gas and keep ventilating till the oxygen or gas is reduced, and stop the cargo operation. Then primary and venting system we saw just now. What are the primary and venting system? Then PV breaker and PV valve. What is
वो
this?
नीचे करना, उसका स्क्रीनशॉट लेना सर. प्राइमरी सेकेंडरी में ये। थैंक यू सर, थैंक
Here it's not given in that detail what we saw. Basically, secondary means should be independent. So this is the SOLAS or MARPOL requirement which they have given, but it's not that clear. Then difference between PV valve and PV breaker. We have seen the PV breaker and the PV valve you must have seen. Otherwise, if you want, we can see. So PV valve is connected on top of each tank. PV breaker is in the common inert gas main line. You can have 1 or 2 PV valve per tank. You have only one PV breaker on full IG line. PV valve is mechanical type. PV breaker is gravity type, filled with liquid with water, as we saw in inert gas system. PV valve pressure is 1400. Then PV breaker pressure is 2100 millimeter of water gauge. PV valve vacuum side is minus 350. Here vacuum is minus 700. So always first PV valve will lift. If it is not lifting, then PV breaker will lift. As you can see, higher pressure setting. PV valve is primary means of protection. PV breaker, they are saying here secondary means, but as per, if you see the definition of secondary means here, it should be other action shall be provided.
PV valve sir, first safety device of IG sir.
It is first safety device of IG, but it's not secondary means. Okay, for IG it can be, but for the tank, you can see here, it should be able to isolate each cargo tank. So it should be independent. But PV broker, with PV breaker, you cannot isolate each cargo tank. So it is not a secondary means. They shall be provided locking arrangements and clear visual indication of the operational status. The tanks have been isolated shall be ensured that relevant isolating valves are open. Okay, so second PV valve or your sensors are your secondary means of maintenance. And PV valve require regular maintenance, PV breaker less maintenance. PV valve is at a fixed set point. PV breaker can be, set point can be increased or decreased as per the water level. PV valve has automatic self-closing check lift. If pressure is not there, it will close automatically. PV breaker will not close self check lifts. It does not have, so you have to fill the water if it is drained out. Then the check lift available to check the operational condition. What in PV breaker, you have the water level gauge to see the operating condition. PV valve system can fail because it can get stuck. PV breaker is 100% reliable because water is all gas. If pressure is increased, water will pump out. So it's very simple. PV valve, no extra precaution is required in cold climate. In PV breaker, we add antifreeze glycol in cold climate. And precautions during loading. So we have to see static electricity precautions for accumulator oils more than 50 picosiemens, start slowly 1 meter per second. Then sampling, hose size. Then is got loading rate, maximum loading rate 7 meter per second. And
सर पीवी वाल्व से पहले भी सेंसर अलार्म एक्टिव हो जाते हैं ना सर, वो अगर प्रेशर एक्सीड करता है टैंक के अंदर.
Yeah, mostly that's what we saw. It depends. If you are doing closed venting system, when you have vapor return line, then you set the alarms 10% before, because we don't want the PV valve to lift. So we will set the alarm if 10% less than the PV valve setting. So it will, the alarm will come before, so that you can control the discharge rate and PV valve should not lift. Correct?
Yes.
So it's got loading rate we have to follow, maximum 7 meter per second. Then charge should not be accumulated, prevention of charge accumulation. Then degassing or inerting. We have to do the inerting of the tank, which eliminates loading rate restrictions because of static electricity. So if you have inerted, then there are very less chance of problems with static electricity. Also, we are adding some additives, anti-static additives, with some chemicals in the oil, so that the accumulator oil, the conductivity will increase and static electricity danger will be less. Then you have to know the density of the oil, and should be people operating should be well skilled, good earthing, settling time after 30 minutes after the loading is finished. And bad weather, lightning time, don't do full rate of discharge, reduce the rate. And oxygen analyzer we have done, paramagnetic sensor or electrolytic sensors, two types are there. Paramagnetic sensor is working on magnetic properties. Metal body is suspended in magnetic field, and when the gross is drawn through the cell, the suspended body experiences magnetism. So there is a metal which experiences magnetism with the presence of oxygen, and how much oxygen is there, that much magnetism will be there, which will be measured. Electrolytic sensor, so the current is flowing because of electrodes with the electrolyte. So more oxygen, more current will flow, less oxygen, less current will flow, and as per that we will get the readings. And there is one more type of oxygen analyzer, chemical absorption type. In this type, a sample, known sample of gas is brought into contact with measured volume of oxygen. So here the readings are mostly to be leveled, but generally this is not used. So it can measure only oxygen and regular calibration prior every use. Then explosive meter. What is the limitation of explosive meter? We can use only in oxygen more than 11%. That is, we cannot use in inert atmosphere. We will use when we are doing gas freeing.
ये इनर टैंक में यूज नहीं कर सकते ना सर एक्सेलेरोमीटर?
No, for in inert
cannot
tank,
cannot
we
use
need,
in a tank.
yeah, we need tank scope. Tank scope is there. This is the tank scope which we will use for inert atmosphere.
Only sir ये O2 content work ना sir, combustance.
Sorry,
ये एक्सेलेरोमीटर only O2 work sir, ऑक्सीजन के लिए?
no, explosive meter is for checking LEL percentage of hydrocarbon, but it will measure only when the tank has oxygen more than 11%. And tank scope is for measuring percentage volume of hydrocarbon. It can measure in inert atmosphere also. So tank scope is working on Wheatstone bridge, chemical absorption. So this is different. Then explain the limitations of Draeger tube. So Draeger tube we saw, you put a Draeger tube here in the pump, and we put measure the number of pumps, and you get the sketch coloring and color change and all. Then block diagram of IG system you were asking on a VLCC, and all the components. So first we have to name all the components like this: exhaust gas source and valve, boiler, isolating valve, scrubber, demister, gas blower, fans, IG pressure regulating valve, deck seal, then non-return valve. Then deck isolating valve, PV breaker, cargo isolating valves, and last is the mass riser. Then the alarm system, which we saw, scrubber, water level, high and low pressure. Then blower shut down, low pressure, inert gas, high temperature, low pressure in the line after the blower, oxygen content high, tech seal, high and low water level. So all these are alarms of inert gas system. So this is the diagram of inert gas system and explanation. And then inert gas is going into the tank after the PV breaker. And then the full explanation. Then the hazards of, this is, so also there is oil tankers question, what is dirty ballast? So if the discharge is composed of seawater and discharge from fuel tank. So if you take ballast in fuel tank or seawater in fuel tank for the stability of the vessel, that is your dirty ballast. Okay. Maybe in fuel tank or then what is PV valve? This we have to see. PV valve is operating at 0.24 bar pressure, sufficient to cause. This is a PV valve operation. There is a seat with the spring and you have a weight. So this weight will get lifted. We will see a better picture. So if the pressure in the tank, this is connected to the cargo tank, if pressure is increased, this valve will lift and the pressure air will release. So
सर इसका स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट दिखाना है पीवी वाल्व का, क्या लिखा था
the
स्टार्टिंग में? यही सर.
So if in any tank you have more than 0.2 bar pressure in the tank will get rupture. So before 0.24 bar, your PV valve should lift. 2400 mm से पहले ये लिफ्ट हो जाना चाहिए. So if
डायग्राम में मैं सर यही वाला डायग्राम बना सकता हूँ ना सर पीवी वाल्व के लिए?
हाँ, ये भी बना सकते हो, और भी दिखाता हूँ डायग्राम्स. So PV valve is a part of your ventilation system to avoid rupturing of the tank. Then what is spike crude oil? Spike crude oil is enriched oil or tailored crude oil, which has more hydrocarbon added in gas or liquid form. So extra hydrocarbon is there, better to improve the quality or something. Large amount of added hydrocarbons and it has got heavy gases. Then SAR crude oil. SAR crude oil is having more hydrogen sulfide. When the sulfur is more sulfur, when the total sulfur is more than 0.5, it is called SAR crude oil. And if it is less than 0.5, it is sweet crude oil. So if like nowadays we require less sulfur. So if we need better quality oils, we have to purify the SAR crude oil to make it less than sulfur, and that is called your sweet crude oil when it is less sulfur. because then sulfur is harmful to environment and you're causing global warming. And pour point, when the any substance at that temperature starts flowing from the waxy state, is the lowest temperature at which oil uh, excessive wax forming out of a solution. And at low temperature the fuel will get, thereby preventing the flow. So if the temperature is lower than pour point, the liquid will not flow. So flammability diagram. Then this is the PV valve we have already seen. You can see again working of PV valve. So if there is abnormal rise of pressure in the cargo tanks or IG line, then the PV valve will work, gas will enter and it will be released. If there is low pressure, gas will come. So these are the parts: outer pipe, inner pipe, liquid, flame screen. There is a flame screen so that spark should not go. Gauge cogs, gauge glass, all those things. Copied?
Yes, sir.
So PV valve we have already seen. PV breaker, sorry. So how it is same. Then deck seals. This we had to do. So good, we come here. Different types of deck seal. First is this one is wet type of deck seal. So wet type means gas is passing through water. Mostly this one is used. We saw in the video also. So inert gas is coming and it is passing through the gas, water, and it's getting cooled down and gas is going to the cargo tank. Now if there is backflow, the gas is coming back. So you have the mister pad also, so that if gas is going, moisture is absorbed. When the gas is coming back, because the gas is lighter than water, it cannot push the water. Some water it will push, but it cannot pass through the water. So it will push the water and this tube will be full of water. So gas cannot go back. So this way the wet type deck seal is preventing the backflow. Clear?
Yes.
Then high velocity vent valve. This is the design. So requirement is that it should go at least 30 meter per second should be the velocity of the shape should be such that air is going up to 30 meter per second, and it should, the height of the PV valve should be at least 6 meter. So with this calculation, the fumes which are coming out will be very high and it will not come on the deck. So tank vapors can be released and sent clear of the deck. Main thing is high velocity to avoid the air accumulation on the deck. So this is a moving orifice type PV valve. And this is the counterweight. You can see moving orifice and fixed cone or counterweight. This is the counterweight. There is a small gap between the orifice lip and the counterweight. It is directed upwards within velocity 30 meter per second and air is joined by the ejector directly. So this way the gas is passing. Precautions for loading, gas charging, oxygen analyzer, cargo related equipments. You have ODME and the pipelines. Then function and maintenance of cargo related equipments. ISGOT. This is what we were going to do. That's the last topic we ended. So sometimes you are asked to write short notes on ISGOT or what is ISGOT. So latest edition of ISCOT is 6th edition. There are many new amendments, 2020 edition. And first it was published in 1978. So it is a guide. It's not mandatory. It is a guide for safety of oil tankers and terminals. International Safety Guide for Oil Tanker and Terminals. It is divided in 4 parts. One part is for the tanker, one part is for the terminal, one part is for port and terminal interface, and fourth part is for other safety aspects. So it is published by OCIMF, Oil Companies International Marine Forum, and ICS, and there is one more, IHAI. So as per ISM, it is listing all the safety measures for loading, discharging, tank cleaning, venting, sampling, static electricity, gas meters, cyber security, and work permits. All these things are given in your ISCOT. Any work, any aspect of safety of oil tankers is given in ISCOT. So the purpose is to provide information that will assist the companies in developing SMS, Safety Management System. Your oil tanker manual is made as per ISCOT, Cargo Operation Oil Tanker Manual. There is Shipshore Safety Checklist, and all this checklist, hot work permit checklist, are also coming from ISCOT. Your maximum loading rate and all is also as per ISCOT calculations. Risk assessment is given in ISCOT. So OCIMF, and they try to follow it on their ships maximum. So as per on OCIMF ship, ISCOT is mandatory. So most of the people generally, ISCOT is the Bible of oil tankers. So it gives advice and regulations for all the local, national, international terminals and ships. And all ships should have a copy of ISCOT on board. Then slop tanks, what is the requirement? All ships of 150, all tankers, oil tankers of 150 gross tonnage and above should have a slop tank for keeping this oily water discharge. And they should have a pipeline connected to the pump room going to the ODME for discharging overboard.
If sir,
capacity should be that much that all the tank washings can be put in the slop tanks, or even sometimes if you have dirty ballast. 1 minute. So total capacity should not be less than 3% of the total oil carrying capacity of the tank. Then you can have 2% when once the slop tanks or tanks are charged with fresh washing water and the water is sufficient for washing. So these are some other requirements. Yes. Yes. Shyam?
yes sir. मैं सर ये पूछा था, इफ सर ये क्रूड ऑयल वॉशिंग टैंकर में प्रोवाइड कराया जाता तो अभी स्लॉप टैंक अरेंजमेंट उसकी वो रिक्वायरमेंट के अंदर ही आता है ना उसको?
Yes, slop tank arrangement separate. Even if you do crude oil washing, you will collect all the slop or oily water mixture in one tank, no? So that is slop tank. If you are going in dry dock or some other repairs or inspection, where will you collect the tank washing? Okay. So time is up, and that's most of the questions we are covered. There are some definitions, what is reed, vapor pressure and all. Okay.
नेक्स्ट क्लास कब है सर आपका?
Don't know, maybe I will ask. Good question.
A small question is there.
What?
No, it's a difference between MMAQ and MMW.
I am not able to hear you.
Sir, what's the difference between MMAQ and MMW?
MSW and MLW.
MMAQ aqua, and mmWG.
mm of water gauge and mmAQ is of aqua. Yes, aqua means water, so both are same thing.
Both are same thing. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So see you next time. Thank you.